I returned a misdelivered package from my neighbor's porch. Hours later, I was accused of theft, shamed in the community group, and threatened with legal action. When I checked the label again, I noticed something that completely changed the story. I live in a quiet neighborhood just outside Charlotte, North Carolina. Nothing fancy, mostly middle-class homes with small yards and neighbors who pretend to care about each other just enough to feel polite. I've been here 7 years. Long enough to know who's who and what to avoid. I keep to myself for the most part, but I've always been respectful. I mow my lawn. I help when storms knock over trash bins. I say hello. Nothing more, nothing less. My neighbor Angela lives 2 houses down. Early 40s, divorced, constantly tense. Her backyard's a jungle, and her Ring doorbell is her favorite hobby. Every week she posts grainy videos of kids stepping on her grass or someone turning around in her driveway. Most people ignore it. I usually just scroll past. Then last April, something small turned into something huge. It was a Thursday morning. I was heading out to drop off a package of my own when I noticed a medium-sized Amazon box sitting on Angela's porch. Nothing unusual, except I glanced at the shipping label, and it wasn't hers. It was addressed to 812 Maple Ridge Drive. Angela lives at 812 Maple Street. Easy mistake. Our area has 2 streets with almost identical names. The driver had obviously mixed them up. I hesitated. I really did. I even pulled out my phone to double-check the address. But I figured, why not help? I'd appreciate it if someone did the same for me. So I walked the package a few blocks over, dropped it gently on the actual porch it belonged to, and went on with my day. Didn't leave a note, didn't knock. Just figured I saved someone a headache. A few hours later, my phone started blowing up. My neighbor Paula texted, "Hey, you okay? You're in the group?" I had no idea what she meant until I checked the Facebook group for our neighborhood. It's called Maple Street Neighbors United, and it's mostly used for lost pets or babysitter recommendations. But there it was, a post from Angela. Big, bold, and dramatic, caught on camera. Neighbor steals package off my porch. She uploaded the Ring footage. A short, silent clip of me picking up the package and walking off. No caption about where I took it. No mention that the name and address weren't hers. Just the video and a bunch of furious comments. Wow. Disgusting. Never would have expected it from him. I hope the cops get involved. Within an hour, over 60 people had reacted. A few even screenshot the post and shared it to Nextdoor. I tried to defend myself in the comments. I explained the address. I told them I returned it to the correct house. But it didn't matter. Angela replied to every comment with things like, "I trusted him too." Or, "Let's let the police handle it." She was fanning the flames. Around 6 p.m., a sheriff's deputy showed up at my door. He wasn't aggressive, but he was definitely serious. Said there was a report filed, and he needed to ask me about the alleged theft. I walked him through everything. I even pulled up my own doorbell footage, clear video of me checking the label, zooming in on the address, and walking it down the block. He seemed to believe me. He even said, "This happens more than you think." He left without any charges, but that didn't fix what was already broken. By the next morning, I was being avoided. My usual nods and waves got ignored. One guy I'd helped shovel snow for 2 winters straight wouldn't look me in the eye. A woman at the grocery store turned her card around when she saw me. And Angela? She kept that post up. Let it stew. Never deleted it. Never corrected it. Her comments got more smug over time. She started saying things like, "Let's all be vigilant." Even people you think you can trust. I couldn't let it go. That night, I stared at a screenshot of her original post, trying to figure out what went so wrong. I zoomed in on the label again, and that's when I saw it. The name on the box wasn't hers. It wasn't even close. It was addressed to Terry M. That hit a nerve. I remembered that name. Terry was her ex-husband. The same guy who moved out last fall after a nasty, drawn-out divorce. People gossiped about it for months. She'd trashed him publicly, accused him of cheating, lied about child support even though they never had kids. The whole thing was ugly, and Terry had just moved into a rental 4 blocks away on Maple Ridge. So that package? It wasn't a misdelivery to Angela. It was his, forwarded to his old address, which she still lived at. Angela must have recognized his name instantly. Probably didn't want to see it. Maybe it stirred something up. Or maybe she saw it as an opportunity. An opportunity to ruin someone else's day. An opportunity to make herself the center of attention again. An opportunity to turn the neighborhood against someone just to feel powerful. That's when it hit me. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a setup, and now that she'd used her Ring camera and Facebook to drag me through the mud, I was going to drag every bit of truth out into the light. And I wouldn't stop until she paid for it. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in my living room, the glow of my laptop screen burning into my eyes while I went through every post Angela had ever made in that group. Every paranoid rant about people watching her, every overreaction to someone driving too slow past her house. She built a persona around being the neighborhood watchdog, and now I was her newest target. But I wasn't going to play defense anymore. First thing I did was print the shipping label screenshot, the one with her ex-husband's name. Then I walked down to 812 Maple Ridge Drive and knocked. A woman answered the door, mid-30s, polite but cautious. I introduced myself and asked if she lived with someone named Terry. She narrowed her eyes. "You mean Terry Michaels?" "Yeah. Why?" I explained that I'd returned a package addressed to him here 2 days ago and that it had accidentally been delivered to his ex-wife, Angela, back on Maple Street. Her face changed immediately. "Oh, wow. Okay, that explains a few things." She invited me in. Turns out, Terry had been dealing with Angela's games since the divorce finalized. Redirected mail, hacked emails, even an incident where she slashed his tires in a Harris Teeter parking lot and claimed it was accidental. He hadn't pressed charges, wanted to avoid drama. But now I had a name, a direct connection, and a reason to keep digging. Over the next few days, I started documenting everything. The original Facebook post, my Ring footage, the address mismatch, a copy of the shipping label with Terry's name, screenshots of her refusing to correct the story in the comment statements from neighbors who were willing to say, off the record, that Angela had gone too far. I sent all of it to the Facebook group admin privately. A woman named Cheryl who runs a small daycare out of her home. Cheryl didn't respond for a few days, until suddenly, Angela's post was gone. But it was too late. Damage was done, and Angela knew it. 2 days later, I came out to find my garbage cans tipped over and my driveway egged. My security camera didn't catch her face, but it caught a figure matching her height, her ponytail, her distinct walk. No one else on this block wore a lime green zip-up at 2:14 a.m. Then I got the letter. Angela filed a small claims suit against me for $200, claiming emotional distress and tampering with personal property. It was laughable. But it meant she was escalating. She wanted to drag me into court to make the lie feel more real. She wanted to keep her narrative going at any cost. So I escalated too. I contacted Terry again. I laid out what happened, every detail. He was reluctant at first, but when I showed him the group post, he agreed to sign a sworn statement that the package was his, not Angela's. That the box was part of a forwarded order from his old Amazon account. That he had received it, unopened, from me. I also got Cheryl, the group admin, to print a log of every comment and deletion Angela made. It included timestamps, edits, and people she messaged privately to warn them about me. I compiled everything. I was going to court, yes, but not as the defendant for long. The court date was still 3 weeks out, but Angela didn't wait. The day after she filed her bogus claim, a new post appeared on the neighborhood Facebook group, not from her this time, but from someone named Brian. He was newer to the block, maybe mid-30s, worked from home, rarely talked. His post read, "Just found out one of our neighbors has a criminal record. Maybe think twice before trusting him with your packages." No names. No direct accusations. Just vague enough to stir the pot. But the comments made it clear who he was talking about. Is this about the guy who stole that woman's package? I heard he was violent before moving here. People like that shouldn't live near families. It was coordinated. I knew it. Angela was feeding lies to anyone who'd listen, and now she had someone else doing her dirty work publicly. But here's where things turned. One of my coworkers, Stacy, lives 3 blocks over. We've worked together for 6 years. She messaged me privately after she saw the post and said, "That guy Brian? He's Angela's cousin. Changed his last name a few years ago. You're being targeted." Now it made sense. Angela wasn't acting alone. She had backup. Families stirring up drama online while she played the victim in public. But what Angela didn't know was that her cousin had a loose thread. I pulled Brian's name from a property records database. Turns out he wasn't even supposed to be living in that house. The actual deed belonged to his ex-wife, who still lived out of state. When I contacted the HOA, they confirmed Brian had never registered as a resident, violating community rules. I also looked deeper into Angela's past Facebook posts and found something buried from 2 years ago, a photo of a damaged car, captioned, "Another hit and run. Wonder who keeps doing this." And in the comments, Terry had posted, "You keyed your own car again." Angela never replied, just deleted it quietly a few days later. That pattern, it was her MO. Fabricate drama. Paint herself as a target. Blame others when attention starts fading. So I started my own slow burn. I contacted a local lawyer. Nothing flashy, just someone who handles civil disputes and defamation. I gave him my full file, videos, timestamps, screenshots, written statements from Terry, and now this new lead on Brian's living situation. He told me plainly, "You've got the beginnings of a defamation and harassment case. Keep collecting. Don't confront them directly. Let them talk themselves into a hole." So I waited. And sure enough, they kept talking. Angela messaged another neighbor, a woman named Eliza, claiming I had threatened her through her ring cam and that the police were monitoring me. But what Angela didn't know was that Eliza and I go way back. She used to babysit my niece and trust me completely. Eliza sent me screenshots of the messages. And then came the break I didn't expect. Terry texted me again. He said, "You should talk to my lawyer. There's something you need to see." Angela's done this before, not just to me. That shook me. I met with Terry's lawyer, and she showed me part of their old divorce file. Angela had filed multiple false police reports against Terry over the span of a year, alleging harassment, stalking, property theft, all dismissed. But each one left a record. And now, those records formed a pattern. Angela's pattern. That package? That post? That lawsuit? Just her latest attempt to use the system like a weapon. But this time, she picked the wrong target. And I was done playing defense. The morning of the small claims court hearing, I showed up early. I wore a simple gray button-down, no tie, no flash. Angela strutted in 15 minutes later wearing sunglasses and a smug smile, like she was walking into a movie premiere. She didn't look at me, just sat on the other side of the room, arms crossed, waiting for her performance. The judge was polite, but clearly impatient. He asked Angela to state her claim. She went on and on about emotional distress, how she felt violated, how I had invaded her property and tampered with her personal belongings. She even said she feared for her safety. Her voice cracked like she was forcing tears. When it was my turn, I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I handed the judge a binder. Inside was my Ring camera footage showing the label and my walk to the correct address, a printed photo of the shipping label with Terry's name, and the correct address circled a notarized statement from Terry confirming the package was his Facebook screenshots of her original post. The lies and the comments meant to incite the neighborhood screenshots from Eliza of Angela's private messages spreading more lies and a notarized letter from the neighborhood admin confirming Angela had refused to correct or delete false claims after being shown proof. The judge flipped through it for 5 minutes in silence. Then he looked at Angela and said, flatly, "Do you have any evidence this man stole from you?" Angela blinked. Well, the Ring footage." He shook his head. "The footage shows him delivering the package to the correct address. Not theft." "I didn't know that then. You know now," he said. "And you still allowed false information to remain in a public forum. You filed a claim with no basis in fact. You've wasted this court's time." He dismissed her claim. I thought that would be it. But then he turned to me. "Do you wish to pursue a counterclaim for defamation or harassment?" Angela's head snapped toward me. I looked her dead in the eye. "Yes," I said. 3 weeks later, we were back in court. This time, I had legal representation. So did she. My lawyer laid it out clean. We brought in Terry's lawyer as a witness, who testified to Angela's past behavior. We presented the HOA's letter about her cousin Brian's unregistered living situation and his involvement in spreading false rumors about me. It got worse for Angela when Cheryl, the Facebook group admin, testified that Angela had been warned multiple times to stop posting unverified accusations and had been reported before for similar behavior. The judge was quiet, but when he finally ruled, he didn't hold back. He awarded me $10,000 in damages. Enough to make a point, not enough to bankrupt her, but she didn't have it. She'd been working part-time at a local craft store. The court ordered her wages garnished. And the cherry on top? Angela was ordered to post a public apology in the very same Facebook group she used to destroy my name. Not just a casual post, but one pre-written by my lawyer, approved by the court, and required to remain up for 90 days without edits or comments. She posted it a week later. It read in part, "I falsely accused a neighbor of theft without cause or proof. I understand now that my actions caused real harm, and I take full responsibility." The comments were brutal. Nobody defended her this time. A few neighbors messaged me privately with apologies. One even brought over homemade bread. I didn't need any of that, but I accepted it. Not for their sake, mine. Brian? He was served a cease and desist. The HO launched an investigation and gave him 30 days to either register or vacate. He moved out quietly. Angela stayed, but something in her broke. She doesn't post in the group anymore. Doesn't make eye contact when she walks her dog. Her porch light stays off. As for me, I walk taller now. I still return the occasional misdelivered package. But the next time someone tries to smear my name, I'll return the favor with receipts. And I won't stop until the truth has its turn.